tear chop shaped like that. Looks like the strawberries on the side. Then we can take another one. Watch this. I'm gonna make a circle here, right? And then now I'm gonna make that long, oblong look that strawberries normally have. So we have one laying down towards us and one turning away from us. You see? So then now, let's put another one going this way. Just base it on movements and overlaps and what your mind says a strawberry is. Now, a lot of you've seen a lot of weird shapes with strawberries. You can make these any which type of oblong shape you want to. Our mission is to make us believe that it's a strawberry doing some type of movement. All right. So now we know the first idea. We have strawberries that we're worrying about, right? In our marger. So we worry about making strawberries and how strawberries looks in our mind. Because once again, everybody, I'm not trying to mess with your emotions. This is the 50 and over crowd, but you want to start doing things that trigger your memory and help to keep your mind fresh. So that's why a lot of times I'm more so a suggestion of, especially for us, just pulling things out your memory on these Sundays and just having fun, just letting it drop down on the page. I'll try not to use any, how would you say, certain terms because we have Bavisa having breakfast, so I won't use my other terms I like to use. All right. So yeah, keep on making that idea. Now notice I'm not worrying about any type of detail or what you would say detail to really describe it. I'm just saying where they're going to be for right now. And then I would suggest you do the same thing on your page. Maybe even saying to yourself, where's the back edge of a table or something? Because that's going to get chopped up. This is where we're going to do the abstract stuff back there, you see. Maybe even what does a strawberry look like if you cut it in half? I don't know. You know, or if you cut let's see, if we cut a chunk out of one, like how you would do a kiwi or something, how would that look? If we cut that and did something that looks like it's cut open like a strawberry, you see? Boom. A little bit of and we can have probably some of the juiciness rolling off of this one, you know. Make it so that it's like so juicy that strawberry is, that it's dripping juice all over the table. So however you want to do that, we can make that abstract too. You can make it look like it's laying down by doing the movements to the outside, you see. Now we start showing what the pit may look like in the inside. And then now it does that star movement like that, almost like how kiwis do too. The same type of textural idea happens with the strawberry, except for it's red, that's all, or different derivatives of red. So this is where we're going to have fun with the color red, you see. And that's not a kiwi, that's a strawberry that was cut open, you see. You can even put now we can say where some of that green foliage would be on some of them, like on this one here, the pit would be round on the top. You see, we can erase that one out in the background there, here. And then now it's almost like how carrots do too, but it has like 3 big basic strong leaves on it, you see? And we can make it like so. All right, so see how they starting to feel like strawberries? You can put the little humps here, like so on some strawberries. Make sure your strawberries are not GMO. Yeah. You know, make sure you got organic strawberries going, everybody. You know, same thing with this one here. Once you get it in there, you can start making us believe that it's a strawberry by showing us that prickly red surface with the seeds and the skin. Yeah, oh boy, we are there. We have strawberries. Yeah. All right. Now here comes the other fun part. I would say start our abstract idea like how we normally do it. Make it seem like stuff is going towards the strawberries at certain points, you see? You know, you almost look Kandinsky-esque now at that point, you see? Leave certain things there. Now, that'll be like a background, but then we can do certain things to have fun with the shadows and everything as an abstraction too as well. So we got that together, all right? We know the colors. We got red already, right? We may have the green to go across from it just to give some interest, right? We still have tint, tone, and shade, white, gray, and black to help us fill in. And we're going to be using the watercolor pencils, like I said, or your color pencils, you know, and we'll be going with that, everybody. How's that sound? Nadine, you still there? We good? Hey, Nadine, you still there? Gotta come off mute. You're on mute.
Sorry, folks.
It's all good.
I had to bootstrap it.
It's all good.
Yeah. So apologies. The backup, the full screen has my over 50 full screen, but it says technical difficulties. Just click the link below and it goes right to the YouTube link.
Ah, okay.
So some reason Facebook changed the permission and I don't have permission to go live on Facebook.
Oh, from the platform that you're streaming from?
Just, yeah, or just in general. I didn't change any settings. Actually, I have a template I've been using every week.
You may have to reboot the template again.
Yeah, and and I rebooted my laptop this morning. So,
ooh, okay.
Yeah, that's an everyday thing. But anyway, folks, yes, it's coming to you. It's in the rebroadcast. We want to hear from you. You know, say hi in the comment section. Let us know how you feel about the topics today about strawberries.
Yeah, buddy.
All righty.
Let's get started. Hopefully I'm close enough. I'll move the camera closer if needed. And I'm sure you guys will let me know if you can see or not see. Important thing is I can see you guys on the camera, so that's important. This one. Don't worry, everybody. I'll have the whole system together. And then we'll have the floor pan mopped out. For anybody that's trying to make a little video space, you know, you should have a floor plan, just like if you was doing it on TV or theater and stuff like that, so that you won't have obstructions like how I'm having while we're working now. So we're working to eliminate those technical difficulties, everybody. Thank you for working with us. So gracious. You know, buddy, Don is retarded, I know. But we'll stay retarded forever. It's the best life to have. You know. You ready, everybody?
Okay.
Let's go. Now look. You see that? Oh, it's kind of far away, huh? Aren't we? Let's see. There we go. Shine one of these. Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. At least I can do it quick though, ain't that right, Nadine?
Absolutely.
Yeah, buddy.
You know, all this talk about strawberries, I'm getting hungry.
I know, man. Same here. But we're gonna make it do what it do. All right. We know where the central parts are and all that good stuff now, right?
Yep. And if you spray bottle, water spray bottle, and blow dryer. Don't forget about that. Okay.
Was somebody asked about that?
No, I'm just mentioning it.
So come on, let's go with the circle. I'll draw the circle in now for the first strawberry. You see? Some of you probably already started already. You see how we do the double circle in the back to make that idea there. You see? You want to control your stroke when you're not using an eraser. That means controlling the pressure on how hard you press. You see? Other than that, this way, what would happen is I would have to use a kneaded eraser to get some of that graphite out so it doesn't mix with the watercolor.
Yeah, I think I wrote it too hard.
Yeah, so now what happens is you just pull out your kneaded eraser, put it in a little ball, and what you want to do is tap those areas that relieve some of that graphite out of the area.
Okay.
And that's how you get to control the graphite on the surface.
Mhm.
You see, so I'll do the same. See, so I didn't want to do it too light so where nobody can see it.
See it, yeah.
Right, you know. So you start off like this, everybody. See how mine is a little dark too as well, Nadine.
Mhm.
Now let me put the other one in, the other strawberry that's cut into like a quarter piece right here. So I'll make that basic shape. So notice how we're doing it, everybody. We're not really worried about perspective per se, the word or the term. We're just worrying about how we're going to align our edges to what it looks like in our mind.
Mhm.
Once again, we're using the strawberry. I'm going to add a little extra into this one. I'm going to show how some of that top pit is still there.
Mhm.
So we can show some of those beautiful greens transitioning into reds and stuff. Almost looking like a bite out rather than a cutout, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, I know my stomach's starting to turn too, Nadine. Like, oh, strawberries. I'm thinking chocolate. You see, these are some of the things you can think about to put in your particular, how would you say, version of Sunday strawberries. You see, because there you look, you can put a cup over here. Yeah, let's go there, everybody. I'll put a cup here. I don't know what type of drink that's going to be, but you know. So we got some type of strawberry drink there. Some type of juice, you know. Yeah. So let's have fun with that. I'm gonna put the circle for where the water is, or where the drink is, like this inside the jar. Just to play with our audience's perspective. Like, is the glass leaning? Is the juice leaning? I don't know. You see that?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, let's have some fun with it. So that's one little change of angle that we can do. So you can have a cup there like that. I don't know if some of the ladies are thinking martini, Sunday martini, then you know we can make a martini
Oh.
glass out of that and put the salt on the edge of the glass. You know, if you want. Let's see. Then we can have some fun. Think about our abstraction.
Did you say Sunday martini?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Yeah, I know people that have Sunday martinis. I've done art parties where people say it's Sunday martini time, and I was like, wow, okay, I didn't know it was such a such thing, you know. But when you're around in different circles and different arenas, people do things that are common to them, I guess, Pavisha. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know, it's either wine or a martini, you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mimosa.
Yeah, that's another one too, you know. So, you know, your leisure Sunday drinks other than beer with Sunday football events and sporting events and things like that. Yeah.
Go Eagles.
There you go. Oop, oop, oop. You know what I mean? So then look, I'll put the pit in this one here. You see it, and now you can make it look like everything is turning inward. You see, make the dot here, you see, and then now you make certain lines like they're turning inward. That's all it is that C movement, turning inward to that area. That's it.
Uh-huh.
You see, and then that would be where the nods would be, or the nodes would be on the strawberries a lot of times. Those strange areas where you have the small little bumps on the top there.
Gotcha.
So just try to channel the strawberry shape, everybody.
The inner
Not all of our
strawberry.
all of our shapes are not going to be the same. So I don't want you to think during these group sessions, I'm saying we got to be perfect and all this crap like this. No, we're pulling this out so we can all have fun with it. What does your strawberries look like? I know I want those inhuman big looking strawberries that almost look GMO-ish.
I don't want no GMO strawberries.
I know.
But they're pretty.
Yeah, buddy, they look good over there in the produce aisle. You're like, my goodness, I think I need strawberries and whipped cream today. I don't know, you know what I mean? But whatever your how would you say, wonders of strawberries are, hopefully I enticed you to have some today. Because I think I'm going to have some today myself. All right, now look, now I come in and I do the abstraction. So now I'm just going to make lines coming from different things to make them overlap. And I'm using the curvilinear line, so I'm making everything look like it's going straight to the strawberry. You see? So then now when I come in with the angular line, I can stop it. And now I'm not going to do that continuous. I'm going to leave some of them open-ended, you see, make some of them overlap and cross certain things just to break up space. Maybe another curve over here to break up space to go to this strawberry here. So you see what's happening. I'm just breaking up space. I'm using that concept that we talked about, everybody, where you can use a curvilinear line, an angular line to break up space. Hard edge, soft edge idea. All right. Now, some other things that you may want to do, I'll put the background on one side and maybe in the middle. Maybe show up halfway in the bottle here. So it's see-through, you see? So then now see how I have everything going looking like it's dispersing up there? Now we can make everything or give the belief of things laying down by doing horizontal movements down here. You know, and we're going to fill that in. Maybe I'll make a shadow on this side, right? And then make a shadow on the back side. Changing the angle, you see? Maybe I'll put a double, how would you say, shadow on this one. So we put a shadow on the front here and a shadow behind it. Because we're not saying it's an actual place. We're using the strawberries and the glass as an abstract element, you see? So I want to do that with everybody this week, just to show you that abstraction can be figurative, as we call it, or have formal elements. You know? And, you know, yeah, you're looking at Picasso and all those guys that started this idea or had an idea with this from doing their travels. But, you know, this is a cool way of breaking up space and taking an idea that you may have. Just one aspect, strawberries. And then what can you do with it? So, like, you know, for everybody else, it doesn't have to be the same as mine, okay? But understand that this, if you've never done this before, or it's your first time doing it, just worry about the basic shapes. Think about a shape that you can make that would represent a strawberry to you. You see? If you don't have a clue, then borrow one of my shapes. You know, if you don't have a clue, when we show Nadine's, or if Bavisha, if she's finished breakfast and then she joins along, we may show what her interpretation is. You know, I believe that we all borrow from each other. So, you know, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the shapes of your strawberries not being what you may call perfect.
I am back, but I'm trying to finish something I should. So I'm just painting
It's
along.
okay. All right. It's okay. Thanks, Bavisha.
Over there.
Yeah.
It's
all
oils
right.
and snow.
All right. So what you're doing, a snow scene then?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Beautiful. There you go. I'm glad you even joined along with us. You know, I didn't want to be too pro. That's why we didn't do a winter scene.
And listening.
Say again?
Enjoying the company and listening.
Oh,
that's beautiful. That's what a lot of people tell me anyway. They say the voice is nice, so they put me on in the background and things like that. For real, you know, even when I'm doing it for my smaller individual classes, I had one individual say, "Hey Don, can you just give me the instruction and I just listen?" Because he was in the hospital. That's why.
oh, wow.
Yeah, so he was like, I can't really participate the way I want to, Don, but I didn't want to miss my session. So he was like, can you just instruct? And we walk it through. And I just walked it through and we did that online. So yeah.
That's beautiful, Don.
I service you anywhere you're at, man. That's why I say I thank everyone that participated. Once again, I give it in the middle of what we're doing. I thank everybody that donated and helped out. And that's why we have the switcher. We have some other new devices that we're going to be connecting.
Yeah.
And let's keep creating, I'll say on that point. And once again, seriously, I do thank everybody that donated. And I do thank everybody like Bavisha that puts me on in the background while you're doing something else or just join along with us all together. Thank you for that greatly.
Absolutely.
You got anything to say on that note, Nadine, or you good? Did my Sunday testimonial work out good that time too?
Yes, it did. One love, one love.
There it is.
Keep art alive.
That's it, man. So now look, everybody, if you got a kneaded eraser and you want to relieve some of that paint off the surface, you can use a kneaded eraser like I was saying, or you can use a plastic eraser and just use a light touch. So I'm going to show both ways, everybody. I'm going to pull out the kneaded eraser and the plastic eraser. Once again, you can get these items from the dollar store if you're economically challenged. If you're not, you can go to your local art stores, your Michaels, AC Moore is not around anymore, your Dick Blicks, your artisan crafters, your AAA art supply, like over there in Camden, New Jersey. You know, you have small little outlets, but you definitely can go Staples, Walmart, and Target or Target. You can find these, you see.
Yeah.
So here's your plastic eraser, everybody. She's the white plastic one.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's the kneaded eraser. It's kind of small, everybody, so I'll hold it at a point where you can see it. It's mainly gray. They come in different colors too, but I like using the gray ones because then when you stretch it and fold it on itself, that's how you know it's clean. It goes to a lighter gray.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to clean these off. You just stretch it and put it back on itself. With your plastic eraser, you don't want to wipe it off with your hand because you have oils in your hands that get into the pores of the eraser, and then you'll get this ugly, like muddy looking color with the charcoal or anything. What I suggest is wear an old pair of pants or old t-shirt, or have an old t-shirt or something near you where you can wipe it off. You can wipe it off on your boards. Wipe it off on your boards like how I do, or you can take a paper towel, you know what I mean, and you can wipe it across the paper towel like so to clean off an edge of the eraser. Another one is you're getting light grade sandpaper, and you can rub the eraser on there, and that'll clean off a spot too as well.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, you know, we got to give all the tidbits and everything. So then look, I got the kneaded eraser, right? You make it like a little putty pad, and then watch the movement that I'm doing.
Oh yeah, the dab.
That's the dab, that's it. And then once you do that, everybody, what's happening is you should see on the screen that how that strawberry on the bottom got lighter. You see that? That's lifting a little bit of charcoal out so that when you're working with watercolor, you know, really translucent or transparent mediums, you don't want the charcoal to really, or the graphite to mix in with your color and to mess with the purity of your color. Not unless you're going opaque. If you know you're going opaque, then don't worry about it. Yeah, I know some of you are saying, well, Don, you got the color pencil out there, it shouldn't worry. Well, no, you still want to do that to have clean color, everybody. You see, so the more you worry about having purity of color earlier on, the purer your colors are going to get. So that's why when you say to me, Nadine, sometimes you're like, wow, your colors are jumping a little bit more than mine. Think about the process that I'm taking into consideration.
Right.
I'm thinking about that purity earlier on. So now when I do things like this, I'm already in the mindset of having things at a high key if I want to. Hopefully it goes there, you know. Yeah, every now and then what you hear everybody on my end is the camera going through its check systems and all that stuff. And there's a way to shut that down so it can be more softer too in the device. So I'll be doing all of that too, everybody. Don't you worry.
Yep.
Or it'll be right back to the cell phone again, right?
Hey, however we deliver it, that's all that matters. We get it to everyone.
There you go. So you see everybody, look at that. Now, another technique you can use with the kneaded eraser is what I call dragging. So it's just like what you use with the plastic eraser when I want to get it all the way, I might use this plastic eraser and really press in there, right? Well, with this idea of what I call dragging that I learned from illustration and doing illustrations for books and different small advertisements and things like that, local businesses and stuff, nothing Fortune 500 yet. But what you do is you lightly wipe the eraser across, just lightly. You see, with the kneaded eraser, it'll pick up that little bit of residual. Now, what does happen sometimes, if you don't watch out, you'll wind up, how would you say, smudging some of the charcoal on the surface.
Yeah.
So that's what you want to watch out for with the kneaded eraser. So now you got 2 different ways of using the kneaded eraser. Or 3 ways you can dab and move it like that too. Your own variations are going to come, everybody. So I don't want you to think that I'm dealing in this idea of perfection and I'm trying to say everything we're doing on this page is perfect and you're going to be an excellent. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you're going to have an excellent experience with how we deal with the materials, and you're going to learn some things that you may have not known of or you may know of, to give you that period, that confirmation that, hey, another artist is using it the same way. Okay, then I haven't been that bad off after all. Yeah. Natural movements, everybody. That's what I say to my 15 and over crowd. So what you didn't go to school for, but we still have to learn how to move it around and act like you in the kitchen. This is how I use kitchen vernacular all the time. So then act like, how would you say you're using a biscuit and you're sopping up gravy?
Ooh. See, you got me hungry.
I know, but see, these are some of the best ones. Like, I don't know if what Bavisha had for breakfast, but if you had a biscuit, Bavisha, and you got some eggs or some juice or some syrup left on your plate, rub that biscuit in there, man, and dip it in your coffee, and boom, man, So see how I'm even holding it in my hand? I'm holding it like I have a piece of biscuit in my hand, everybody. So that's how much I believe in the kitchen vernacular helping out an artist. Yes, Bavisha?
I had upama. It's a South Indian traditional breakfast. Very
It's like a porridge?
It's kind of like maybe
oatmeal?
polenta
Oh.
with lots of veggies in it would be
Wow.
Wow.
You'll have to show us a picture of that.
Yes.
Bavisha. Yeah, that sounds tasty.
Yeah.
I might have to try that one day, Bavisha. Wow. So it's a traditional dish from where again?
I beg your pardon?
It's a traditional dish from what province again?
From South India.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Don't say no spices in it or nothing? No different spices in it? Because I know in that part of town, you got spices going like cumin and everything else that I love and enjoy too over there.
Yeah, I put all of that kind of stuff in.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right, Bavisha. I just want to let you know that my fat man belly has been around the world too. You know what I mean? So I have tasted some of those things. I'm not going to say I'm totally proficient, but I know when it comes to that cuisine, there's a place that's on Germantown Avenue going towards Chestnut Hill. It's right above Germantown. Ooh, I forgot that other street. But it's near the Wawa. That's way up on Germantown Avenue. So it's a block before, and it's an Indian cuisine restaurant. Oh man, Bavisha, I had some nice things there. I don't know the names of them, Bavisha, but it had the nice gravies, the curry gravies and things like that. The basmati rice with, oh my God, and carrots and peas and lentils. Yes.
I'm getting hungry here.
I'm gonna blame it on Bavisha.
Yeah, it's all her fault.
So there you go.
Breakfast.
Yep, we're gonna blame it on your breakfast, Bavisha.
Oh gosh.
Oh man. So then look, everybody.
Yes.
I got it all there. We got the design there the way we need it to be, right?
Right.
Lightened it up and everything else. Now you can start putting your colors in. What I would think about though ahead of time is, on a strawberry, they have those little currants, the little seeds. So then I would worry about how they're going to go in there. So I would start putting in some type of interpretation for them to be there. Some bigger, some smaller. Now, the way they roll straight from the top and they go towards the center of the bottom of the strawberry. And it seems pretty random, but they're offset. You see? So if you look at how I'm putting them in, can you see that? Those little dots there, those little round overlaps?
Nope. But you keep going.
Okay.
I'm a little challenged. I'm a little visually challenged. So don't mind me.
Right. So everybody else, if you can see those are little ovalettes that I'm doing there to represent the little currants or seeds that are in the strawberry's skin.
I'm putting dots.
Yeah, you can put dots, or you can put little small ovals because a lot of times those are like really like brown. that's the color of those. So, you know, every now and then you want to drop a little color in there. I would leave a little white in it so then I can bring my color pencil back
Mm-hmm.
and bring that to life there by putting a little yellow ochre in there, possibly. See? Things like that. You see? So now I got a couple of them in there. I can make shift that the other way. Let's wet that now, wet my brush now. Now I'm going to go into, I'm going to show you the palette that I was telling everybody about with the, I would say the concentrated tube paints. These are the Van Gogh paints that I use
Okay.
sometimes.
Okay.
Okay. So it's the same colors, it's the cadmiums and all that good stuff. I'm using alizarin crimson and a cadmium red light together. Because if I use the alizarin crimson, what happens is that's a good one that shows like how blood would look. So I don't want it to look like blood per se, but I do want to give a nice interpretation of a pungent reddish color. And then we started off diluted as usual. So I forgot to get my tester sheet, Nadine.
You forgot. I have one. Where's
Yeah.
mine? And why is it so important to have a tester sheet?
So you can be able to see your color before you place it.
That's right.
There it is. Bam. So I have an old one that I do sometimes, and what I do is I'll fold a piece of paper in half. So then now I can just fold that piece of paper in half. I have another piece of blank paper on the opposite side. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way I start mine. So often then
That's how he rolls.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll move the color pencils to the side.
Now, Don, for me, I'm dealing with the Derwent. Should I add a little bit of the plum into the red?
No, well, what happens is what you want to do is even though the Derwent has the names on there,
yeah,
I still would put your own layman terms on it. So that violet one that you're calling plum, you can start with that one. And what I can do is on the side here, let me move this over, because they're pretty much, the concentrates in the case are almost the same.
Right.
When it comes down to it, it's just that a lot of times the concentrate will be a little bit more brilliant. So,
right.
All right, let's remember to spray your palette. So I'm gonna spray it a couple of times, you know, to get everything going. Wet your brush. I would take the plum, you know, and see how I have the palette here, the black palette, the glass palette there.
Yes.
All right. So then what I would do is I wouldn't use that one. I use the red one right next to it.
Right.
And then add a touch of that in there.
Okay. I'll do the opposite.
Like it does a winey like color. Because that plum that you're calling plum, it's a violet, but it's more so towards a red violet.
Okay.
At the base of it, you know. So yeah, and then now you would add more water to this, and now we would test it to see, you know, is that too dark? That might be too dark. So I want to add some more water to dilute it a little bit more. See, and now I test that stroke, and I feel comfortable with that one. So now I come in and I start filling in just where the strawberry is going to be, lightly putting in where these reds are going to be. Thinking about where some light spots may be too. That's why you start off diluted like this with the watercolor, you see?
Okay.
Because you want to work up to richness, you see?
Right.
It's a difference than when you're working with opacity, like acrylic and oil paint. Working with acrylic and oil paint, it's all about accumulation of stacking things on top of one another, different layers. Same thing with watercolor, but you don't have to worry about looking into it if you're working opaque. Oil paint, you can do the same thing. Acrylic, you can work thinly too as well. So it's up to you and what your intent is. But mainly speaking, with your transparent mediums like watercolor, you want to start off in this diluted way and then build up to nice rich colors. This way you can control the brilliance, the lights, the brights, the darknesses, the ups and downs a little bit more. I want to take the time to shout out some people, some artists that we've lost recently. David Lawrence is one, so shout out to David Lawrence.
Okay.
Another one that was real important to me is Mr. Mo Booker.
Yeah.
Mr. Mo Booker has transitioned, and
Mhm.
we'll miss him dearly. He's a great artist, great colorist, done a lot of work. Look into him, everybody. Mo Booker, beautiful work, abstract artist. Learned a lot from him. Yes, he was a mentor to me too as well. He used to teach art in the park too as well, like how
Okay.
I do. So I've known him from showing in different small places and things like this. And he would give me advice along my years coming up. So, shout out to him and to David Lawrence. You know what I mean? These guys will be missed, and those are the recent ones. So thanks. Oh, and another one is Sandra Turner Barnes,
Okay.
the poet. She transitioned, so I'm going to miss her greatly too as well. And shout out to Sandra and her family. And how would you say, keep creating to those three powerhouses there,
Mhm.
especially Miss Sandra Barnes. So she's very connected in the Delaware Valley as far as Philadelphia and Camden is concerned. Camden was her house seat, and she did a lot of work out there. So I know the people out there is going to miss Miss Sandra Turner Barnes. So way to go to Miss Sandra Turner Barnes. Welcome home to all of those, and I give a clap up to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Could you give me those names again? So Sandra Turner Barnes.
Sandra Turner Barnes, David Lawrence, and Mr. Mo Booker. So these are three people that are absolutely known in the Philadelphia, Delaware Valley art scene. And there was always, doing something. Miss Sandra Barnes was always, I think she has a couple of books out. She always dealt with artists that was local to do some of the illustrations for her poetry books. She was a patron of the arts. I think her daughter has a gallery or something over in Collingswood, I believe. I'm not sure. Or a young lady that she treated like that. I don't want to, misinterpret the information, but I know her connections run deep in Camden.
Okay.
So everybody that's on our line that knows of these individuals, clap it up for them.
Yes.
They supplied us with a lot of creativity, a lot of fun, a lot of beautiful conversation, and you can check them out online.
Yes.
You can check them out online at this point. So back to our strawberries now. Yeah.
Strawberries.
Yep, just put it in, like so. It's red. So now what I would say is I would make the strawberries warm, right? And then probably make the background cool of some sorts, like some greens. Since it's the opposite, you see, I'll put a little bit of, like what I might do with this one is to show that disbursement inside, like how the white comes through and it comes in like at an angle to go inside. You can see the fibers of the strawberry. We're going to use that spreading technique there. You see that? Where I put the water down and now you let the water let it spread. You see? Let it spread.
Yeah.
Let it spread. And you're controlling how it spreads. You see?
You're using a clean brush to put the water down. Is that correct?
Yeah, you rinse your brush out, right?
And you're playing
water. Watch, you get clean water. I'll do it on my tester sheet. Just remember, wherever you put the water, that's where the color is going to go. You see? All right. So then now what I do is I'll do it with some more intense color. Now that area is wet, I just drop it in there. And if you can see it, it starts to spread. So let's do it a little bit more color. Boom. See that how it's spreading?
Yeah.
So then if it's even wet, I can move it around and move it to certain directions.
Right.
I can do a dab and then that dab will start to do that. You see, if I wanted it to do it some more, I can take the spray bottle, spray it, and then it'll do it again. Then I can move it around some more. All of that's to build up the underneath of the strawberry, of that idea of that being like that blending type of thing with the lines going in like that. So it's pretty much the same texture as a kiwi. The lines they come from the inside and protrude out. That's how the seeds are made, basically. So this basically showing the movement of the seed from the beginning to the end, where it's pushed out to the outside, and the meat of the strawberry is inside there. You see? So then now what I would do is I would start even trying to put in some of the green. So Let me go. Since I started to do went over there, let's go back over here to this palette here. And I'll go with emerald green, or this one is a viridian green. You see, the same idea, dilute it, test it. Okay, now I start dropping it in certain spaces in here, just to get things to going, just to say where colors are going to be. So I put some alongside the glass here. Let's see, I'll take this green and let's see, I'll put it in this space right here. Maybe put it in the corner here. See how I'm just taking the liberty to fill in spaces with it? And that's what you want to do. You take the random idea and just start moving it around the way you feel, just to see where some of these colors are going to start to be. Could you go in and say absolutely where all colors are going to be? Yeah, but I like the randomness sometimes, you know, just to just drop it in there. You don't know what's going to happen. You just let that take over. A lot of times, a lot of beautiful things can happen when you do it that way. You see, now the decision to be okay. If I take some of the red and interfere it, I get like a grayish color with the green. So then now I can start this idea down here for my shadows. You see that?
Okay.
So all I did was I took a little bit of the red, I put it with the green, and it cancels it out, and you get this nice looking soupy gray there. You see?
Okay. Yes.
So then now when you get, now if you stay more so on the green side, you get that type of cool gray. If I stay on the red side, it's more of a warmer situation. You see?
Okay.
So that's how you control the temperature of the two. You can go more so on the red side. So I put some of that one in there, and you notice a slight difference in there. That's a slight difference. But notice how I'm just putting this in as a base. And what I'm trying to get you to see there is that even in your shadows, you're going to have a little bit of red in there.
Right.
You see, let's see, I'll put some of that in here. But notice how I'm doing mine's horizontal. So the movement changes from top to bottom.
Okay.
Well, what we're saying is the bottom, we're going to do left to right motions. You see, so then this is where I'm just saying where I'm using this as a design element now. It may be a shadow for something else that's in the back. Something like how Juan Gris would do. If you ever looked at his work, his name is Juan Gris. That's an artist, I believe, Spaniard. I think that's that post-war period too as well, he functioned, which would be those 30s and 40s and things like that. You see? So now I don't know what we're going to put in the glass. Maybe we'll put some tea. I don't know. Maybe we'll put some tea. But notice how things are working out. See how it's real diluted?
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking. I was like, I hardly see it. I guess that's a good thing.
Right, because what happens is that you're starting off there. And then now, just to show you, like if I want to build it up richer, now I will come back, I'll use the DeWint to show it and use less water, more pigment. You see, and then now I'm testing the stroke and see how it gets a little bit richer. I want it richer than that. So you want to build it up gradually because there we go. That's a little bit richer. So then what happens is you want to control where darks and lights are going to be, you see?
Okay.
Look around the current, you see? You see, and that's still not at its height, because then I can come in here with just the pigment alone and just a touch of water. You see, now you would come back in there and you would do things like that to show the difference between the darks and lights, you see?
Right.
And now that movement alone will make you start believing that it's juicy and it's glistening, because you know the surface of the strawberries kind of has a sheen on it. You know, that reflects these lights back. So that's what you're trying to mimic. So the best way of working with watercolors is working diluted and then working up to that rich color that we're seeing, because that's the way you can control different effects by understanding those movements. So notice how I'm taking the liberty and I'm just rubbing the brush in there, going through. You see, bringing it up. I can say where a shadow is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and I like to build them up slow. So I pretty much like to work like Franz Klein.
Mm-hmm.
He's an old Dutch painter, and his paintings used to look like they said that he took, great haste in doing them, but it really, when you do the study of them, it used to take him months to do a piece of some of those nuns and things that he did portraits of. But it was all divided touch, that stroke, that dash mark.
Oh, the divided touch. We were on that last, what was it, the week before last?
Exactly. The Impressionists, we owe the Impressionists and those Flemish artists a whole older stuff for that old idea, because they use that in their techniques a whole bunch. With a lot of other things, like how I'm doing, but that's what we learn from these guys, you see? And see how that little bit of quirkiness adds to the idea of the quirkiness of the strawberry.
Mm-hmm.
See how I'm leaving some spaces open and then shutting some spaces down and then leaving that wiggly line in there. You see how that jumps out now?
Mm-hmm.
And you can start seeing that idea. But you don't even, that's too soon for this piece, you see? Because then you can come in and now you can use a yellow or something, you see? And you can start blending in some of these areas, because you do see that rich yellow, that brightener in the how would you say, the skin of the strawberry, but it's more so with the how would you say, the color of the strawberry. So you see when I put the yellow down first, now I come back with that deeper red over top, it starts to really feel like a strawberry red type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of now that depends upon the atmosphere that you put them into. You see? So then now that that's dried a little bit, I take a little bit of this yellow and you'll see how that looks blended over top of something that's already got red in it. You see that, Nadine? Look, and you see how the white spots pick up the yellow?
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm not really worrying about trying to be perfect. I'm not trying to be photoreal right now. I'm just trying to be expressive, just like everybody else right now. Just drop it in, utilize it. Where's my hair dryer at? Let me pull that puppy out over here. Now this is where I gotta watch out too, Nadine, because I don't want to overload some of these factory outlets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Flying.
You taking it to the limit.
Yeah, man. Just know we're gonna do it, everybody. So I mean, I wasn't here last night. It was I was like, whoa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, good thing I had access to the box, so I'm good down here. I don't have to call janitorial services a lot of times to correct my electrical situation if the box flips.
Okay.
All right. So now hair dryer. What you're gonna see with the hair dryer, everybody, is some of those buckles that you may be seeing in the paper because of the direction of the light. You're gonna see how those flatten out.
Ooh, trying to catch up. I haven't even put the yellow in yet.
It's all good. No, that's like a glaze. I was just showing you that because that's a glaze.
Okay.
So you can put your reds in first, and you can start putting the yellow in as a layer. You know what I mean, to help to enhance the red, to give us that real beautiful red that we like to see when we look at strawberries. Now, it depends upon what type of strawberries you get. Some of them look like they're leaning towards the violet idea. Some strawberries look like they're leaning towards the candy apple red orange type of idea.
Right.
I leave that up to you guys, which type of strawberries you want based upon your taste buds and your memory. That's the way I like working that. Because there is no perfect strawberry or all this good stuff. There's only the strawberry you like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you remember the brand or the farm that did it, and you do your strawberries based upon that. So you see,
Yeah, I don't know what journey I'm going on, but I'm having fun with it.
hey, just have the journey. You know the deal. That's everybody else too. Have the journey. Fill it in. You see how I'm filling it in. Just abstract. I'm using my idea of what a strawberry is to me. You see, some of you might say, well, Don, we want to follow your story. Well, this session is not really about, it's about everybody bringing what they are to the situation. So then now we understand the whole idea of
Right.
communal drawing.
Yes.
Painting. You see, so now I'm putting little small effects in here to show how the strawberries, fibers are inside the part that I said was cut, you see?
Mm-hmm.
So we put some of those effects in there. Now we know we're coming back with the color pencil. That's another one too. So you're just putting in enough just to give us this idea. Then you come back with the color pencil over top. And I'm going to show you how to have fun with those color pencils on top too. And then you can come back and forth. You can do the watercolor and then come back with the color pencil, then come back one more time with the watercolor. Because the color pencil acts like a resist, but wherever the color pencil isn't, the watercolor is able to touch the paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about that juice in the glass, everybody?
Oh, yeah, we can't forget about that.
Yeah, let's make some type of what? Red juice?
We going red?
Yeah, we can go red. Go red. I would do the same thing again. I would just likely start putting that in there. That's where the difference can come in. You can make one more alizarin than the other. So I'll use the alizarin a little bit more for this one. Put the red in the jar. I should have made it like a mayonnaise jar. Yeah. Show my old school stuff. Mayonnaise jars, Smucker's jars, they would all turn into cups and glasses sometimes. Especially the Hellman's jars.
Yeah.
That Hellman jar was big. Everybody wanted that one. I'm getting that one. That's the greedy person's jar. Then you put the lid on top, shake it up, get all your sugar out of it. That's when I used to eat a lot of sugar and all that stuff. Not no more. You see, and then now on top, you just want a little lightness on the top there. See? Whatever's left on the brush, a little light. See? And that starts that idea in there. Notice how if you're looking now, you can start seeing certain things start to do things now. So when you have it like that, you start adding other things in. Now we can go back to our background, you see. And let's see, we got green in there. Let's use a lime green. So I can use a lime green off of here, off my Durant. Or Durant.
You keep doing that.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, buddy. All right, now I fill in with that one there. All right, a little bit too deep. Add a little bit more water to it. That changes it up a little bit. It's just me. I like to work diluted first. That's the way I approach watercolors and everything. So the more diluted things are, the easier it is to bring the color up or to lift it out if I think I made a mistake. Or I want to change the direction of that. Then, all right, I can wet that area and lift that all out. You see? Come in, find another area where I can put this at. Yeah, let's put it over. Oh, no, it's too close to that one. Let's change the octave of it. Okay, it's yellow, green. Let's add a touch of blue to it. I'll use the lighter blue. Now we have a different, I would say, vibrance of green there. Yeah, there we go. Take it down a notch. The other way is too. Now I can put a red violet in that yellow green, and that'll bring that one down. See, so let's look at that. That's where you can take this plum, right? Put that on the side, and I'll mix that with the green. And now we're going to have this funky looking color. Oh, yeah, you see, it almost looks bronze.
Wow.
So I just would add a little bit more green to it to keep the green. And there you have it. That's how we subdued that yellow green. See?
Yeah.
Drop it in. So that's an interference color And you made that without even having to deal with black. So it works in oils, it works in acrylics, it works in all mediums. It even works in color pencil, you see, as overlays. You see, what's starting to happen now? Let's see. Let me add some of that color right in here. See, and after a while, I'm not even thinking, I'm just dropping it in now. I just want to fill it in now. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And now these differences start to happen. Make another variety of green if we're looking at green. Choose more blue with the green. And we use the same palette here, everybody. Add a little bit more of that. Test it out, see the differences. No, not enough of the differences. Add some more of that green to it. All right. And then now I add a touch of blue to it. There we go. I like the way that looks now. Well, I want more blue though. So we'll go from more to blue with that green. Yeah, make it look like an apple. There we go. That's what we want. Touch of water to it. And now I come in here and maybe I'll fill this whole area in with that right there. Yeah. There we go. See that, Nadine? See that, everybody?
Yeah.
Let's drop it on in. So now we have the abstract world working with the objective world. See? Now, let's see. I would start trying to richen it up a little bit, just a little bit, some of these areas. See what our rich color would be. There we go. Let's see. I would do one. Throw this one in here with a dark green or a richer green. Boom. And right into this area right here. Yeah, so we can bring, see now the level of the table is different. See, we have it up here and then we have it down here. So you can have fun with it on that level, you see. And notice we haven't done the color pencils just yet, so some of you might be itching to do, what about the color pencils, Don? Not yet. Hold off, hold off. Try to hold off. You know, just try to see where certain colors are going to be at first. And then you can work your way around certain things. Like I'm gonna put a little bit of a green line inside here. See, that's where the table is there. I'll put a little line here in the shadow here of that green. Just to have some more fun. Yeah, now I gotta break up this space in here. So, all right, maybe I'll do add some red to that green. See what we get. Oh, that's a nice color. Let's put this one in here. It's almost like a violet almost, but that's from putting the blue green with a little touch of red in it to get that particular vibration. You see, oh yeah, we're almost there. Yeah. Let's see, let's change the octave again. I'm gonna use this one here just to have something to put. And yeah, if I was doing this privately for myself, I would move a little bit slower so I can stay within certain lines. But you know, I'm not really worried about that right now. I'm really worried about just having fun, letting it flow out.
Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow.
Let it do what it does. You know, try not to control it. Try not to say I have to control something. Giving myself an aneurysm or something like this.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, this is what we do. So we just keep working. You see, so now a majority of that is filled in. You see, in my glass, make it feel like glass, I would even take a little bit of a blue, a lighter blue, and then say where the glass is, you see.
Uh-huh.
Some effects in that, just to get that to go. So I show some of that blue over the top there, you see, just to get that going. At this point, some of you may want to put in more reds for your strawberries, you see. So to control this side over here, how that rolls over to show the nod running into where the pit is there, you see. So a lot of times that red is on the outside, and it's a little bit of green, and then it's white on the middle. Depends upon how ripe the strawberry is. Yeah, I sound like a real strawberry connoisseur, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about, everybody. Know your stuff, pull from your ideas, especially for our 50 and over people. Pull from your ideas. They're worthwhile. You lived your life. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Use those thoughts that you went through. Use those experiences, those vacation places that you've been. You know, that the breakfasts you would get at the casinos or wherever you would go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember those type of strawberries and all that good stuff. Some of you may have been to the Caribbean. You see the difference in the strawberries. Some of you may have taken trips to Africa. You see the difference in the marketplace on how strawberries and different produce looks. Use your ideas of that. See? Notice how I'm not really worrying about too much just yet. Now we're starting to darken in some areas or make certain areas richer. There's my other strawberry back here. Yeah, buddy. Now I didn't put the currents or the pits on this one, but I can put them in afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
With that in mind, I still just leave a little bit of it open here and there. And we got to show a difference between them. We don't want them all running into one another. So this is where you start making certain areas richer than other areas. Show that differences in light and dark at that point. So now when you don't have the currents drawn in, you just have to keep in mind that you're going to be putting some there and just some spaces, random spaces to look like that or to feel like that. You're going to come back with the color pencils, and that's where you're really going to gain some of your details from.
Okay.
Because now you can come in there with the pencil and really show some stuff about what the edges do. This is where you just take the advantage and just build up the surface with the watercolor. See where colors are going to go. You see, I'm not worried about perfection. I'm worried about expression. Now I take some of that yellow again and I dab it in here. Dab it in here. Dab it in here. You see, dab it in here. Dab it in here. That makes it richer. Now I didn't go up into that area. Why? Because I want some of that green in there that's there a lot of times that you see on the strawberry in this area. Now I dab some of that in there. See? Now we'll let that dry. There'll be some green at the tips here and at the bottom here. Let's see. We can dab some of this green in here. Some of this green. Now I come back with the yellow again. Let's see this one up here. I put too much in there this time, so I dry my brush out, take some of that off, and then dab that residual onto the surface there. Put a little touch of that yellow in here. And now we're coming close to what that pit may look like. We can come back with those color pencils and really iron everything out. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the bottom here, you can add, some more blues if you like. Or blue green. So now I would use the darker blue in that Durant set Yeah, I know it's called something else, but it's probably ultramarine.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like a phthalo, so I would use that. And then now I will put some of these blues down here as stripes, as a pattern, even taking them through the shadow. You see? So then this way, that's another design element.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to do is give the eye as much excitement as it can have. Give it a lot of things to look at. And see, with the watercolor, you can build your surface up pretty decent. See what's starting to happen?
Yeah.
And that would be the basis. Now, for the top up here, you can, do different things, but I would hold off to use the color pencil. So I'm going to put a couple of more little things down here, like I'm going to add another lighter green down here to add to that effect with a little bit of red in it. There we go. Just to bring the eye down, to bring some interest down a little bit. Just a little bit, just to bring the eye down so the eye has something else to look at there. All right, my battery is still good, so we good. I heard a bleep there. Hey, now I can do the other idea, Nadine, is have the cell phone there so I can read the messages too.
Yep.
See?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
See, so the bottom is like a stripe type of pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And the up part is all the disbursement. Now we go into this idea of I rinse my brush out. So it's ready. When I'm ready to use it again, I put that one to the side. Now, come out here. I can move this out the way. Vavis, you still got me thinking about her breakfast, man.
I know. I'm like, I can't wait to eat.
I'm like trying to think, I wonder if I could Uber from that restaurant. I wonder if they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wonder if they had her traditional breakfast that she was talking about. You know what I mean? I'm one of those. I'll find a restaurant. I'm like, hey, you guys have, and I'll get the name from Bavisha. And if they say yeah, I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah.
It's the traditional Indian cuisine breakfast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So now this is where I pull out the color pencils. I have the different sets. With this Prisma set that I have, everybody, they have like 3 trays in there. Yeah, I mix the trays up. There's a good, oh, you see that? That's my phone ringing now.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's calling. I can't get to it. It's just going to have to ring over there on the other side. They'll leave me a message. Yep, you hear it, right?
Yep.
That's amazing. I'm being serious, Nadine. That's way over on the other side.
Wow.
Of the studio, and it sounds like it's sitting right next to me, right?
Wow. Because of that mic.
Yeah, that nano mic, man, with the the different settings on it. It just picks up everything. So we'll figure out that too. Okay, look. Now I'm pulling out all my reds, you see?
Mm-hmm.
All my reds are what seems like a red. I'm pulling the greens out too, and the blues, you know what I mean? Any type of blue that I got. Because each drawing that I do with my color pencils, what I do is I re-strategize the trays.
Okay.
So then as I'm doing it, each one is for that particular, you know what I mean? That particular drawing that I'm doing for that session. You see how I'm doing? Mm-hmm. So I rework the trays. Sometimes I have one warm tray, one cool tray, and
cool.
the neutral tray.
Okay.
So that's another way you can deal with it. I sneak some of the oranges in, then I may do a yellow. With the color pencils, your white, not unless you're on toned paper, does the white really work. White is really used for blending mainly, everybody.
Okay.
Not unless you're on colored paper. Even when I'm doing it on the watercolor, I don't use the white as if I'm trying to use it to make something show.
Okay.
I use it for blending.
Okay.
Right. And then you got a couple of browns in here. So then I take the browns and We're gonna use a couple of those. And then one dark blue. Then I take these over to my sharpener. I don't have the handheld sharpener on me right now. But what we do is we sharpen them so we can get a good point. I use an X-Acto old school hand crank sharpener, everybody.
Okay.
I don't use the electric one. I like having it in my hand. So next session, next Sunday, I'll show that setup. So you can see you still can buy one of those stand right or X-Acto hand crank sharpeners. I like it because you can control the destiny of the lead. A lot of times when you have the electric pencil, it chews the pencil up too fast and the material up. And then the next thing you know, you got a $3 pencil down to about 2 cents worth of pencil and you ain't used it yet. So a lot of times that happens with the softer pencils. With the cheaper pencils like the Crayolas and stuff, oh man, they're pretty solid in the electric pencil sharpeners.
Wow.
So they stay pretty consistent, and that's why they're made the way they made with the content of wax that's inside of it. So just understanding how these things are made, everybody. The color pencils are made with a particular type of wax and binder to keep the material inside the wood and to keep it stiff, you know what I mean? It's solid so it doesn't break apart. That's why with your pastel pencils, they say you shouldn't jostle them around. That's why you should put them in a box and things like this. Because the minute you start moving them around, like how I'm moving these color pencils around, the softer materials break up inside the wood.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's why they started making the woodless graphite pencils and color pencils and things like that. I have some of those too. They have color pencils where there's no wood. So then now you don't have to worry about that factor of the pencils breaking because you can just sharpen it and keep going. So I think next time we'll show some of those too as well. I'll pull those out. I don't want to waste the time that we have left trying to figure out what it is. Like, what time is it now?
Time is, good question, 11:44.
All right. See, so now I can show this other stuff. Now look in the background. Once again, I have the Prismacolor pencil color set. I believe this is like the set of 36. All right. So now you notice I'm matching the colors that I have in the background with some of the blues and the greens that I have already. So now this is where you can come in there and now you can see what I'm doing now. You can use that pencil to tighten up spaces, you see, to make another design on the inside if need be. See that? See how I divided that up?
There, Don.
Say again?
Nice blue, red and blue.
Thank you.
Complementary colors.
Yeah, see, that's what we try to do. You know what I mean? Just to show that aspect on how the artist really uses that and how anybody can really use that way. So all I did is I'm looking at the colors I have already. And like how I said earlier, I take the color pencils when I have these many like this, and I rework the system to fit the drawing that I'm doing. So I'll actually, like if I was doing this for myself with Visha, I would just hold the pencil there and walk and move around and say which ones I would use, take it out, put another one in, things like that. Now you can see, let's say again.
Nice way to do it. But listen, hey, I have to go.
Sure.
Family calls.
No problem. Thank you for joining us thus
Thank
far.
you.
For the time that you gave
Thank
us.
you for presenting.
No problem.
Take care. Be safe.
I can't wait to see that painting that you did too when it's at the finish.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, we'll be waiting. Bye-bye.
All right.
Yes.
So now you see everybody, I'm putting the red in the strawberry. Notice how I'm working around the current with the color pencil. Look at that. This is where now you can tighten up. Now I wouldn't worry about making it a perfect idea. I'm using a scrumbly mark to add to the expression a little bit.
Okay.
You see? So then look at how I'm putting that red in over top of the strawberry. I mean the watercolor red, you see? Working around the currents now. So now we get that little expression of the bumpiness of the strawberry that we love. Then notice how I'm stopping it right at the top here, right at the top. because that's normally how it works. Now that gets lighter reds going towards the center, you see? Now, are we going to be finished by 12 o'clock? No. But this gives you something to work on for some people the rest of your day, you see, or for the rest of the week. That's what generally happens, because I have people hit me up and say, oh, well, this is what I did from Sundays. Oh, okay. Well, why don't you want to put it up? Oh, I'm not good enough to put it up. I said, well, yes, you are. You just got to have the confidence to put it up. So one day you'll put it up. So I do get email. Thanks for those people that send emails and say what their drawings are and showing it. And we're going to work on trying to get you to participate, to take pictures of it. Some of them, they're elders, Nadine, so they're like, anti-computer, but coming around the corner on it.
Yes.
You see, so then we have to work slowly with those individuals.
Oh, okay.
So we may start seeing some of that this year a little bit more. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's what we're here to do, is to help bridge that, bridge those folks that are at home or, working
or in rehab centers and things
rehab
like this.
centers.
They had a small stroke or small issue situation.
This is really good, to, start working and, allowing yourself, giving yourself the permission not to be perfect.
That too, yes, and just giving you permission just to have a day where, or a moment where you're not really thinking, you're just doing.
Yes.
You have an experience that doesn't have to worry about bills or anything else. It's not worrying about nothing more than your touch.
Right.
So why not have an experience like that every now and then? Just to, how would you say, help your soul out and things like this. Because you got a lot of things on the day that really can bother you in our society today. And since that's the known fact, why let all of that really bring your day down when you can do certain things like this that'll bring your day up? So then if you see, look, I'm taking the brown and now I can come in here and press a little bit hard in these areas here and say, or to say like it's a makeshift shadowing of it turning under on the table, you see? But notice how I use that as a layer and let some of the watercolor show from underneath too as well. And you see how it has like this glowing effect on it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to get you guys to see by combining and using layers, addition now. Now I don't press that hard on this one in the front and I'm working in between. So now you can really see how the strawberries, my strawberry, is being made with the currants on the top or the seeds on the top, you see? And now you would use that red, this fire engine red, or it's called, let's see, rouge or poppy red. It's really a red orange, you see? Because that's what I try to show people too. Don't get caught up in the names that different companies name their colors. They do that on purpose because they're trying to set up difference between them and their competitors. But generally speaking, just know on the marketplace, everybody is using the same pigments. They're just using it at different consistencies with different other binders and things. And that's what makes some products superior over others. It's their mixtures. You see? So then what I would say to you is you can probably even make up the names of your own reds. Like sometimes that's what I do when I'm doing it with the watercolor or the color pencils. Or if I have a set like the Durant, I'll name them myself, or I keep it layman's term. That's violet, that's purple, that's this, that's that. You see what I mean? To stay away from the confusion of all the names that they have for different, colors and different companies that's dealing with making these materials. So you see that? Look at how the strawberry is coming out now.
Yeah.
See? So then even in here, in this one here, you can put some of the browns here. See, I can put a light striping of it in certain places, and then look what happens. Because the color pencil, you can work as a dry, but then you can put light layers over top of the watercolor. See? And then you can also press a little bit harder. Like I would come back and put some blues, or some violets. I'm using a blue violet. They're calling this one blue violet, but I'll call it just straight violet. And then I'm lightly coming into areas where the shadow is underneath here. You See, and now I make that line just a little bit sparse, and look at how it starts to jump out. Nadine.
Wow.
See, just a little bit here and there. You don't have to worry about being perfect, and you can go back and forth. You see,
Mhm.
and these are the things I do. It's very important to have a nice point on these pencils too when you're using them. That's where you really get the bang for the buck. You know what I mean? Because now you can really get in there. You see, now I put that red over top of that blue, and look at how it turns into feeling like a strawberry for real, for real. And that watercolor, you can still see through some of the light spots in there. You see?
Mhm.
Yeah, buddy. Now it's the same thing you can do on the glass, you see?
Mhm.
So in the glass one, I would use more of the red violet type of idea. So I would take this red that's more like a winey type of red. Yeah, and
Mhm.
this one would be crimson. Crimson is not really like a violet. Crimson more so goes towards that pungent red or orange too. So let's see what we're looking like in there. That's all right. That's not bad. So I start putting this around the edge on where we're seeing the edge of the drink is touching the glass on the inside. See how I did that?
Mhm.
So we can start doing that like so, you see? And maybe even leaving some light areas to make it look like the glass is shimmy, shimmy, y'all. See? Yeah, a little bit of that there. You see how it's starting to build up now?
Yeah.
See, and then on the top of the glass, this is where I would go with those colors that Bavisha was liking from me.
Uh-huh.
You see, to have that coolness up there, you see, and press a little harder. Now what I can do is just put a little bit of those light marks in between where I'm seeing certain darks are and let it blend down.
Mhm.
You were starting to have them just have fun with that glass. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the way, everybody. I started really feeling it then. I
Yeah,
forgot
I
I
saw
was.
you. You were moving.
Yeah, I started to forget that you guys was on the line here. I just got the headphones on talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got to remember where my camera is until I get those angles together. That's my problem. Okay. Yeah. See, I can see my screen. My screen is right across from me, so I can see.
Mhm.
I just was having a moment.
Yeah, that was a great moment.
Yeah.
I like that. You broke it up a little, give that notion of the glass
Yeah.
reflecting.
See? That's all, just a little bit. We don't have to be perfect to the idea. We just want to give the expression, the feeling of it. You see, maybe even a little bit of lighter marks back here because the inside would be a little bit lighter than this part here
Mhm.
coming towards us, you see. This is the way, look at how we're doing that through there. You see, through there. Let's have fun with it, everybody. And we're going to add more. You're going to wind up adding more. The strawberry down here, once again, I would sharpen my pencil there. And then I would start showing how this is happening in the strawberry meat here. You see that whole dispersing thing. And then sometimes you have like that little white area in there that has a little brown on it.
Mhm.
That's on the inside. You see, showing how it's cut. You see that? How I'm doing that there?
Yeah.
See, you don't want to press too hard with the brown, just enough. And then now you come back with that red and then you work right over top of that. And then bring those striations to the top where you're saying the top layer of the skin is leaving that white there. You see? And it should start feeling like the inside of a strawberry. That's the mission. Without having to look at a strawberry for a direct source. So I'm using my fat man greedy mode right
Ha.
now. You see? There we go. You see the difference now, Nadine?
Oh yeah.
So you start that process off to get the feeling. Now I can go to the outside here, press a little bit harder. You know, I mean, to get the underneath of that strawberry turning away now. Now that you understand the movements from those other strawberries, now you just apply the process to the other ones, and you make it turn in. You don't worry about if I'm making the perfect strawberry. You worry about, am I making it so that it really feels like a strawberry? You know, if it's flat, so what? Let it be flat for this one around. This is for some of you, this may be your first time dealing with strawberries. I don't know.
Yep, it's my first time dealing with strawberries.
Okay. So then now I know to hit you with the strawberry, pineapples, and all those different fruits that we like to eat that we're saying is good for us. That's another series of artwork that I did too, Nadine, abstract and real life.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas because of the pandemic, I started to do things like lemons, ginger, thyme, the different, how they actually look. Because you got to think about it. A lot of kids don't go to farms. A lot of people weren't raised on farms. It was raised in inner city environments. And I had to think about it because I was messing around with, you know, a friend's kids, and I was asking them different things on, do they know what it looks like when a strawberry is growing? Do they know what it looks like when a celery is growing up? And they didn't know.
Right.
So, all right, that made me say, okay, let me do a series of artwork just showing these items in an abstract way, just to get them to think about what vitamin C really is and the natural essence and things like this. And even in the elder community, a lot of them, they didn't, you know, grow up on farms and things like that, like some of us may think because they're elders, but a lot of elders were the beginners of the urban world living that we're living in right now. So yeah, even with some of them, it was like, hey, I don't know what that stuff looked like. I lived in so-and-so city for XYZ years before I moved to wherever they moved to, you see? So that's why I decided to do that. And that's why a lot of times I like to do things out of the head, you know, because that lets you know. Look, even in the pit in here, where that green is, I would come in and then enhance some of this green in certain areas. You see? Maybe that's a little bit too strong. So I'll come in here in the pit and make some of those greens. You see that you can see that's on the skin coming from the middle there. You see? And then some of that green a lot of times is in this area here. So with the color pencil, this is where you really can get the idea of, how would you say, nuances in the surface and the flesh, details that everybody says they love seeing in artwork. You can come back with these color pencils and really get us to see this with a couple of movements here and there, you see?
Wow.
It's not that hard to do. It's just, you know, and you can't, you know, how would you say, judge yourself at this point, because you can't match it to somebody else. You go like, wow, okay, you know what a strawberry looks like, you greedy buzzard. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe I need to understand what that looks like even more so, or whatever the case may be, you know? But don't think that you have to do this perfect thing all the time when we're doing sessions. We don't worry about perfection. We worry about expression.
Right.
Okay? That's our main thing over here. And then giving you tidbits so you'll understand your movements more. You see? You have more creative moments, you know? I'm more so worried about that, especially for the 50 and over crowd, because what happens is this becomes like a lifesaver, like how Nadine was making mention to earlier. You know, it keeps your mind busy. Say, for instance, people don't visit you a lot and your mind wanders, you know, and you don't want dementia and these type of things to set in on you. You can have a regimen of doing artwork. That's why I have a lot of people come to me during the different sessions throughout the week that I have at different art centers. And that was some of the things that they would say. They always say, well, thanks, Don, you really keeping my mind going. Because we're debating at the same time, too. Some historical stuff may come up in the figure drawing class. So we'll start talking about different parts of the body and how they work and stuff like this. And they said, wow, like one lady, she goes and she talks to her doctor and she says, she said the doctor asked her, where are you getting all this information from? And she told him, she said, hey, it's from art. And he was like, it makes sense now. I was like, because if you're going to draw the body, you should know it.
Know the body. Yeah.
Yeah,
I still got a lot to learn.
It's okay. Take your time. It's a life lesson. That's what I tell people. It's life work at that point. You don't have to know it all right away. And then you practice it with your doctor. When you go in to talk to your doctor, you use some of the terms and see if he's reacting, or to see if the nurse reacts. You know what I mean? If they react, then you're on point. Then you can use it if you want to. So now you notice how I'm using the yellow to enhance some areas in the strawberries.
Right.
Before we end, I just want to get in there and show like how you can take the different blues, and now I can come into the shadows and show how that connection is there as so, you see?
Okay.
So wherever there's darkness, Nadine, you can take your darker color pencils and go in there and rework and work and develop the area like how I did there. See?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Even in any one of your shadows, even the ones that you're making bend reality a little bit. See? And then there's a little bit underneath here, and then you can come back with a darker one and do another stripe. So it all looks like stripes. By the end of the day, I'll have something done here and you can put it up online. And like I always said, I will put this up online as a picture right now. It doesn't bother me because you see the idea. I don't know how the colors is working on the camera because I didn't do my color correctness for the output.
Oh, okay.
So is that kind of bad or?
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
No, I'm looking at your colors and I'm thinking about mine.
Oh, okay. Okay. See, that's the other difference. See, I can't see it, and the laptop screen is bent away from me, so I can't really see the colors. But I can see, my positioning. That's all I was worrying about earlier, the positioning of everything. So
yeah, that was important. I understand that. So I mean, you want to give the best angle for everyone. We're trying to get people inspired.
I have to. All our competitors have it. All our competitors have it, Nadine. I'm gonna stop shadow boxing with it now. Ladies and gentlemen, all our competitors, and we seeing people doing things that we're doing. It seems like we're abreast with what the times are. But the only weakness I see on my end is the camera angle. So we're gonna get better camera angles so you guys can see better. And so we can be in competition with the others online. If they're saying they're our competitors, we're a friend and foe at that point.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So yeah, everybody. That's the beginning, and you just keep going. Even in your background, I would take some of the greens, you see, and I would come into some of the areas and either press lighter or darker, you see.
Right.
And enhance that area. Even make it probably look like a piece of stained glass. It's lighter in the middle, darker on the edges, you see? So notice just from that one area I just did with the green there, you see? And you still can come back over top of that and rework that. Use another green for another area. Here's another green here. So I normally would take all the colors that I'm using and then, separate them out. So then this way I have all my colors together the way I'm using them in my piece, you see? And then this way you can have fun, doing different movements inside the shape that you made. You see? So I'm not totally against all these different movements, but it's all about the gradual movement. Then you can come back and put a layer of that blue to harmonize it right over top of that. You may find a combination that you like and then let that be the combination for all of it up there, you see?
Right.
So just by controlling your pressure and everything else, you can control the variety once again. And I'm a huge component or a huge, how would you say, follower of the ideas of variety.
Okay.
Variety is everything when you're doing these things.
And this is about patience too.
Oh, yeah.
Being patient with the process.
You have to, because it's a slow moving process anyway. It's not a wet medium or as fast like a watercolor was in the beginning. Now you're coming back with the color pencils and you're going to be a little meticulous. See? But you can do a piece based upon that too. You see how I'm building up the little reds and everything else.
Right.
See, yeah. Same thing happens in here. Now I can come back in here and put a little bit of red layer over top of that.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of red in here. So that it really feels like it's a glass. That's the effects. Because that's another thing that everybody wants to do too in their pieces. You want to show effects. So when people look at your surface, you go, ooh, oh, that really feels like glass. Yeah, everybody wants that feeling.
Right.
I agree. And that's what we all work on in your own way, though. But I would say, even with color pencils, you don't want to start off with your darkest interpretation. You want to build up.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you build up, the more luscious things start to look. The more you start to add the idea with certain thoughts in mind, the piece starts to take on a life of its own. And then now you just follow what the piece is telling you to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much it, everybody. Notice how I'm leaving the spaces out for the currents once again. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There we go. Come back, the same thing you did on these down here, same thing you do on the ones up here. Or all the other strawberries. I put a little bit of, violet in here, or violet inside the skin area here. To show a difference between this one in the front and that one in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Take a little bit of the red, and now I go over top of that red a little bit more, a little bit flatter with that violet, and then look what starts to happen. Feels like a shadow to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that. Feels like things are doing what it needs to do. I'm starting to see strawberries intensely. Now I know on the board I said juice can run out, but then I changed my mind when I got down in here.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so if some of you went with the juicy part, then this is where you start making us feel those rolls and movements of the red juice of the strawberry.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, have fun and keep on creating, everybody. Take it to the finish line.
Yeah.
That's it. That is it. So this is what we call this Sunday strawberries.
Sunday strawberries.
Yeah.
Oh, Sunday.
Yes, indeed. Let's see, let me take the white pencil and I can show you how using the white pencil is cool for blending and sharpening it real quick. And now I would come back in and like say, for instance, an area like this where the top is kind of like this creamy, coolish color. So then now I would use this white to blend. You see what's happening now, Nadine?
Yeah.
You see it? Oh, okay.
When you move your, I can't, the hand is in the way. Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. So you see this area here is unblended.
Yeah.
I can come in here and use that white and I can blend it in.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we get a beautiful thing rocking. See that? In this area in here, we can make that feel like it's really turning from the whites and the greens that you see in there to that luscious red. The top of the strawberry. That's why I put that one there like that.
Wow.
Now you can see the difference.
Wow,
so use the white. Yeah, you use the white as a blender.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody, you can use the white as a blender and you go in and blend. Just know that you're not, how would you say, adding white to it. You see, the white is not really doing that much in there. It's just helping it to move this around the surface.
Gotcha.
See, and then once you do it, you can see how it looks. You see the same thing in the glass. I can come in here and use this for blending.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to give me that feeling of a sheen. Now notice how I'm using the same movement up and down to place that in.
Mm-hmm.
So another thing is, just like I was showing and everything else, if you apply the mark in the same direction and manipulate it in the same direction, you'll make your audience believe more things surface-wise.
Mm.
So directional forces are very important. Just remember, line, shape, form, light, surface. Those are the 5 things you're working with when you're doing anything. Like, look, I can come in here and I can blend some of this stuff in here. And look at how that makes you feel like there's the actual strawberry sheen in there. You see, I'm not saying it's the actual, a certain type of strawberry. These are strawberries that came out of Don's greedy mind.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be the same for everybody else. It'll be the strawberry that's coming out of your particular greedy mind.
Wow, Don.
That's it, and then now you play with the designs around here, everybody. I would say everybody, to make us believe that this is flat and it's still an abstraction, is playing with these strokes horizontally.
Mm-hmm.
Play with the reflection of the background inside the glass if you wanted to a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then what could happen is I can take this darker blue, right? And watch this right around the edge of the glass. It's not even black.
Mm-hmm.
That's that darker blue. I put a little bit of that around the edge and around the bottom here.
Mm-hmm.
And look at how that feels like shadow. Now I'm going to leave a little round mark around where the strawberry is here. And look at how that's going to feel like a reflection.
Nice.
I'm going to leave a little roundness around this red here and move this here. And then look at how it feels like a reflection in the glass.
Mm.
Could we push it to make it look like an absolute shadow? Yes, but remember, we're trying to do an abstraction, a subjective piece. So then now we want to take these chances to do certain things like that, to see what happens. This is what our predecessors did. And that's why we love all the abstract work that we see, or existential work that we see.
Mm-hmm.
Because they took those chances before us to take the chance to show us other ways of creativity other than the academic way. And that's what this is all about, the subjective, the micro world, the inside, what you thought about it. Because really, how can anybody looking at your page right now really say no to your work? It's an abstract piece. An abstract piece is only, it's about the expression and the spiritualism and the emotion. So you can say you dislike it, but you know what I mean? The energy is still there. The manipulation is still there. And it doesn't have to worry about perfection. It's worrying about what is, how I see it, how I feel. And the minute that you go ahead on and you say, I'm drawing that thing right there, and you point to something, you say, that's what I'm drawing right there, that's when all the subjective stuff goes out the window. And that's when people want to hit you over the head with right and wrong. So if you ever want to get past right and wrong, just say, oh, I'm doing what I feel subjectively about this piece that I'm seeing. And then people will go, oh, okay, and then that'll get people off your back.
Tips of the trade. Tips of the trade.
That's it. So, I add a little bit of red here and there, to make it seem more like that juice is really cool. It may be Kool-Aid, I don't know, I was a big Kool-Aid drinker, I'm not gonna lie.
I was too.
Yeah, grew up on, hey, Kool-Aid. Oh,
great Kool-Aid.
There it is, with your orange slices or lemon slices in the great Kool-Aid. Yeah, did your mom make it like that?
No.
My mom did. My mom would put orange slices in the orange, and the grape, she would put lemon slices. Yeah. Oh my God, man. Yeah, I had a fat kid life, man. I didn't have no once. I was the happy fat kid. I didn't know I was broke until the end of high school. Like, I really, we was broke, Mom. What you thought, boy? I said, well, man, I thought because we had meatloaf and certain meals every other day that we was rich, Ham sandwich, hand pulled turkey sandwiches on a turkey breast. You couldn't tell me I wasn't rich. I still feel that way to this day.
Yeah, it's a matter of what you say is rich.
Exactly. So I think buying turkey breast and doing a hand pulled turkey breast sandwich, boy, woo, sweet Jesus. Let me stop. Not even a Christian, and I'm sweet Jesus.
You got me hungry.
There it is. But
again,
it is about that time. So now we can look, everybody. Here's not the finish, but this is where we're at.
Yeah.
You know, I even started thinking about smoothies with this. So your
Oh,
maca roots and everything else, and you know, matcha green tea and all this other stuff that you can add. And you know, I get to thinking about that, and you can add more of that stuff in. You
wow,
see?
Don.
But this is like just a starting space for everybody. So if you joined along with us, this is a starting space. Add
Yes.
strawberries where you want to add them. Add other
Right.
elements. Take some of the suggestions that we talked about. Do the watercolor first, put the color pencil over top, or hold off on the color pencil until you get all the intricate movements in the watercolor that you want. Then come back and use your color pencil as your detail bringer or the bringer of the surface, you see? And then it'll be more expressive. It'll be more, I would just say, emotional, if you want to say it. It won't look flat and boring. Not to say photography, I'm not saying photography is boring, but you don't want to look like a photograph, not unless you want to be photoreal. I say, why be photoreal when the camera has that on lock?
Right. Why compete with a camera?
Exactly. You can't outdo that the photorealism on the camera if it's in their location. So my thing is I'll out express the camera then. So I'd rather be an expressive that plays around in the realist mode, like some artists would do.
Gotcha.
Like a Titian or Rubens from those guys back in the day. Yeah. Henry Osawa Tanner, he did certain movements like that.
Right.
That's why, you know, his work looks a certain way. John Biggers is another one. You know, just to name some of the African American artists that I deal with, you know. Even Kanye Wiley, you know what I mean? If you look at some of his drawings, more so than his finished pieces, he has a little bit more of a whimsicalness and looseness in his drawings rather than the finished pieces. But he's catering to a whole nother league of individuals, so they are expecting a certain look, a masterful type of look with the colors or with the oil paint. So he's more so like a traditionalist at that point. You know what I mean? African American traditionalist in that genre of, you know, we have artists, a plethora of artists that dealt with that whole idea. So yeah, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Don, this was beautiful.
Yeah, keep it going, everybody. Have fun.
Can you see mine?
Oh, let me walk up on the screen now. I'm too far away from the screen, so let me walk up on the screen.
I have it on the easel.
Okay, hold on. Let me double tap, bring you up. Yeah, you just real diluted.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're good. You got a good angle there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep, right there. Yeah. So now when you start to put the color pencils in, you're going to see how that's going to jump off the surface now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So then now you got it at the perfect point with your watercolors. I would say add a couple of more, you know, watercolor movements to fill in the spaces, in the background when you was touching and stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to keep up.
It's okay. It's no problem. Whether you keep up or not with the absolute, you know, at the end of the road, we all wind up at the same crossroads or the same corner when we end the piece. All it is that let's see who's going to have more creative fun. You know what I mean? So have creative fun, because a lot of times, Nadine, yours go in the same direction, but then all of a sudden you do your own, what I call Nadine thing to it.
I don't know. It's just something happens. I just start doing it.
I know. That's what I tell people. That's what happens when you're working like that. You know what I mean? When you're working like that, that's what happens. And you start to find yourself, you see?
Right.
And then when you find yourself, now you just keep on replicating in that way that made you smile. Oh, let me get the clarity on that real quick, because I was about to, you know, do our thing. See, that's the other thing too. The auto modes on the cameras don't work with the sync in the system. Even with the Nikon app, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
Because it'll cause more lag in the computer, and it causes a lot more glitches and stuff when you use the auto system. So don't think all this stuff is a perfect thing, everybody. All right, how I look? Clear, Nadine?
Yes, you do. Clear as day.
All right.
That's a really good camera, man. That's a really good camera.
That D7000, man, is secondhand, but they say on the market, it gives you some of the best images as far as videos are concerned. So once again, shout out to everybody that donated. This is what we're going to be able to do when you do participate and assist in the journey in an economic way. We're able to do certain things and buy certain things and make the experience even more than what it is,
Yes.
everybody.
Yes,
So
definitely.
yeah.
All right, cool. Cool. Well done. This was great. Hope everyone in the replay enjoys this, and will leave comments, especially if there's a portion in the video that really touches you at that moment. Go to the comment section and write something like why that really that resonated with you. That lets us know what areas is really, you know, we need to do more of. And also, you know, you have any questions, definitely hit us up in the comment section or by Facebook Messenger.
You know
All right. You know it.
Or
Don,
even on the Instagram, right?
or
We flowing over
Instagram.
there too. So anyone in the peripherals that we on, leave a comment. Let us know
Yes.
what's up.
Yes.
Talk to us. Okay.
We want to hear from you.
Yes.
Well,
and we always want to do what, Nadine?
Keep
Keep
creating.
creating.
Yeah. Bring it out. Bring it out. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Have a beautiful weekend and week, everybody. Until next Sunday.
Yes. Until next Sunday.